Being a wrestling fan is fun, except for when it's not. Some things that have happened on WWE programming over the years can make us feel downright ashamed for supporting the product at all. But fear not, we are forgiven. Our sins are absolved by one Vincent Kennedy McMahon, who will be figuratively crucified as I break down 5 of his most iniquitous brainchildren. I'm John with It's a Work, and these are 5 outrageous WWE storylines. But before we attempt to destroy your childlike awe of professional wrestling, hit that subscribe button, so if we fail this time, we get it next time. Number 5. Mae Young gives birth to a hand. The Attitude Era was an, interesting time to be a fan of professional wrestling. You had The Rock whooping jabronis and Stone Cold Steve Austin drinking beer and flipping the bird. You also had a 29-year-old 400-pound Mark Henry railing away on a 77-year-old Mae Young. Love knows no boundaries. Sexual Chocolate and Mae Young gave us plenty of entertainment with their on-screen relationship, but nothing quite compares to everyone's favorite geriatric being rushed backstage to give birth to what was supposed to be Mark and Mae's very disturbing love child. And disturbing is exactly what we got. The antiquated alley cat would demand a halt to the delivery process to light up a massive cigar that even Fidel Castro would be proud of. After this, she would give birth to not a beautiful baby, but, you guessed it, a hand. Not just any hand, a Caucasian rubber hand, slathered in pink goo. If I were the world's strongest man, I'd be asking some serious questions. Our beloved 5-fingered amigo would appear once more at Raw 1000, all grown up with his mother in tow. The miracle of birth, am I right? WWE, give yourselves a high five. Number 4. The Undertaker murders Big Boss Man. Everyone enjoys a nice rivalry between bitter foes that comes to head with a Hell in a Cell match that ends with murder live on pay-per-view, right? If that isn't your cup of tea, WrestleMania 15 may not have been for you. The Undertaker was embroiled in what was obviously a heated feud with the best mall cop Cobb County, Georgia has ever seen, Big Boss Man. After weeks of tormenting the McMahon family with a spooky group of pseudo-satanic hooligans, the Lord of Darkness and his ministry would turn their focus to one large boss man. This feud would culminate in a lackluster bout at WrestleMania 15, where Undertaker would handily defeat Boss Man and earn his 8th WrestleMania victory. The fun was not to end there, however, as after the match, the Ministry of Darkness would make their way down to the cell, cut a hole in the roof, and release a noose down to the dead man. Taker would then bind the noose around his fallen opponent and raise the ominous structure, which I assume was done solely with his special Satan powers. Great executive lad, hanged there for an uncomfortably prolonged period of time, especially for 8-year-old me. Hooray! Murder. Number 3. Tim White attempts suicide on live TV. Mr. White, that's not wise. These words were echoed week in and week out during a 2006 storyline featuring referee Tim White and a young Josh Matthews. So the story goes, after a bad bump during a Hell in a Cell match at Armageddon 2005, Tim White was no longer able to referee, thus launching him down a rabbit hole of deep depression. Every week, Mr. White would attempt a different form of suicide, while Matthews would stand by proclaiming that it wasn't a good idea or it wasn't wise. On cable television, a show watched by millions of families and children. From throwing yourself into an industrial-sized fan or shooting yourself in the face with a shotgun, mocking suicide and depression is just one of Mr. McMahon's countless ideas of quality family entertainment. Funny stuff, Vince. Number 2. Kai and Tai Choppy Choppy Val Venus. Remember when I said the Attitude Era was an interesting time to be a wrestling fan? Yeah! Val Venus, a well-endowed adult film star, was involved in a conflict with Kai and Tai's manager, Mr. Yamaguchi, after Yamaguchi viewed a pornographic video of his on-screen wife and Venus together. The betrayed lover vowed retribution on Venus and his adulteress. 2 weeks after, Yamaguchi-san would show up immediately after one of Val's matches with a salami, which he would proceed to cut up in front of his bitter rival while proclaiming, "I choppy choppy your pee-pee." The next week, a beaten Val Venus would be dragged backstage by Kai and Tai to have his manhood forcefully removed by the blade of Yamaguchi's sword. We didn't see what actually happened backstage, but a week later Venus would explain that Yamaguchi's sword narrowly missed thanks to an assist from John Wayne Bobbitt, who turned out the lights just in time. John Wayne Bobbitt actually had his junk cut off by his wife in real life. Jesus, WWE was something. Number 1. Katie Vick. Could it really be anything else? In October 2002, World Heavyweight Champion Triple H was feuding with the Big Red Machine Kane and decided to make things very personal. After failing to capture the tag team titles from Kane, the game said he had a secret. Kane's secret. He asked if the name Katie Vick rang a bell, then proceeded to call the Devil's favorite demon a murderer. The following week, Kane would come down to the ring and explain his side of the story, saying he had one too many drinks and there was a car accident, and that his girlfriend at the time, Katie Vick, didn't make it. Although remorseful, Kane pretty much confirmed he killed someone. Alright, this I can deal with. WWE has done murder angles before, but it gets worse. Way worse. On October 21st, 2002, Triple H would play a video for the whole world to see what a sick freak Kane truly was. The video showed Triple H wearing a Kane mask at what was supposed to be Katie Vick's funeral. He then climbed into the open casket with a dummy, simulated sex with a corpse, and even uttered the line, "I screwed your brains out," while holding fake brains in his hands. Wrestling, am I right? What the actual hell? Triple H later said in an interview that the depraved segment took place in an actual funeral home, while an actual funeral went on in the next room. Vince, who was of course in charge of the bit, was reportedly yelling at Triple H to be louder and get more into it. Whether this is factual or not doesn't really matter, because seriously, what the hell is wrong with you, Vince? And that's our list. I'm gonna go take a shower to try to get rid of the feelings of shame that I feel for actually having watched this garbage. If you know of any outrageous WWE storylines that we missed, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can also check us out on social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm John with It's a Work, and we'll see you next time.